When it comes to survival, obviously food is one of the biggest concerns. Whether it's preparing for an emergency, you're lost in the wilderness, or you're facing some kind of long-term crisis, the ability to find and eat safe food can mean the difference between literally life and death. Unfortunately, survival myths are everywhere, and some of them are downright dangerous. Believing the wrong information could lead to poisoning, malnutrition, or worse. So here are some common survival food myths that could be deadly. You may know some of these. Myth number 1, if animals can eat it, so can you. Many people assume that if a wild animal eats a plant or a berry, it must be safe for humans too, right? This is completely false. Some animals have different digestive systems and natural resistances to toxins that people don't. As an example, birds can eat many types of berries that are poisonous to humans, like holly berries. Deer can safely eat certain mushrooms that would be lethal if a person ate them. Always identify plants carefully before you eat them. Myth number 2, all berries are safe if they're red or blue, right? While some edible berries, like blueberries and raspberries, are safe to eat, others are extremely toxic. Deadly nightshade berries are in a dark purple or black and can be fatal even in small amounts. The safest approach is to learn to identify edible plants properly rather than relying on their color as a guide. Myth number 3, cooking or boiling makes everything safe. So while heat can destroy bacteria and parasites in meat and water, it doesn't neutralize all toxins. Some poisonous plants and fungi contain compounds that remain dangerous even after cooking. As an example, certain wild mushrooms like the death cap remain deadly even after they've been boiled or roasted. Similarly, toxic plants like water hemlock will still be poisonous no matter what you do to it. Myth number 4, raw meat is better than starving. No. In a desperate situation, eating raw meat might seem like a better option than going hungry, but it comes with some serious risks. Raw meat from wild animals can contain parasites, bacteria, or viruses that could cause severe illness. Trichinosis, for example, is a parasitic infection that can come from eating undercooked wild game like bear, boar, or certain fish. Always cook your meat thoroughly. Myth number 5. This is a good one. You can survive on rabbit meat alone. Rabbit meat is lean and it's easy to catch, but it lacks the fat needed for survival. Relying solely on rabbit meat truly can lead to what's known as rabbit starvation or protein poisoning. The body needs a balance of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates to function. Without fat, a person can suffer from severe malnutrition, even though they're eating plenty of meat. So in a survival situation, it's important to find sources of fat, like fish, nuts, or edible plants with high oil content. Myth number 6, snow can replace water. Snow is mostly frozen water, that's true, but eating it directly can be dangerous. Consuming snow lowers your body temperature, increasing the risk of hypothermia. Additionally, snow can contain pollutants or bacteria that could make you sick. Always melt and purify the snow before drinking it to avoid unnecessary risks, and never yellow snow. Myth number 7, old canned food is always safe, right? No. Canned food can last a long time, but it's not always safe. If a can is bulging, leaking, or has a foul smell when it's opened, it could be contaminated with botulism, a deadly bacteria that thrives in low oxygen environments like canned goods. Botulism poisoning can cause paralysis or death. If you're unsure about a can's safety, it's best to avoid eating it. Myth number 8, you can tell if a plant is poisonous by tasting it. I've actually heard some survival guys mention this universal edibility test, which involves placing a small part of a plant on your lips or tongue to check for a reaction. This method is not foolproof. Some toxins take time to cause symptoms, and others don't cause irritation at all before poisoning the body. The safest approach is to eat the plants you can positively identify as edible. Myth number 9. Moldy food is safe if you cut off the mold. Certain types of mold can be highly toxic, while some foods like hard cheese can have mold cut away safely, other foods, especially grains, nuts, and soft produce, can contain dangerous toxins even beyond the visible mold. Mycotoxins, which are produced by mold, can cause severe illness and are not destroyed by cooking. If food is moldy and you're not sure whether it's safe, you better just throw it away. Myth number 10, any water can be made safe with a filter. No, filters remove bacteria, parasites, and debris, but they don't eliminate all dangers. Some water sources contain chemicals, heavy metals, or toxins from algae blooms that most filters can't remove. In survival situations, boiling water is often the best method for making it safe, but if chemicals are a concern, additional purification methods like activated carbon or distillation might be needed. Survival food myths can be dangerous, and believing the wrong advice could cost you your life. The best way to prepare is to educate yourself in advance, obviously. Learn about your local edible plants, practice identifying them, and understand the real risks associated with wild food sources. When in doubt, stick to proven food safety rules, and remember that not everything you hear about survival is true. In an emergency, good knowledge is just as important as good supplies.